This is a press conference by the 10th River State House of Assembly. Gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you all for finding time for this press conference, which is intended to address some issues that have arisen in the last few months, so we can also set the record straight where necessary. We begin by announcing to you that sponsored attacks on the House of Assembly of River State has failed woefully. Enemies of the people and those who cannot withstand the principles of the rule of law, as well as checks and balances in our nascent democracy in their frustration, started by burning and later demolition of the Hallowed Chamber. Their plan is to eliminate the legislature that is pushing for independence granted her by the Constitution, since they cannot exercise undue control over her. We survived these attacks. Their new strategy is to use another arm of government, lobbies, attack dogs, the mainstream and social media to bring the House to disrepute and consummate their agenda. In this regard, various individuals, groups, media mercenaries have been recruited to actualize their objectives. The latest of the new groups recruited against the 10th Assembly is the former River State PDP Presidential Campaign Council. In a press conference on the 26th of March 2024, signed by Dr. Abiy Sekibo, this group inferred that the House is an illegal and non-constitutional assembly. Others in this group are the likes of Right Honorable Osenopara, Senator Lee Meba, and Prince Uche Secondus. Honorable Tamono Sisigogo Jaja, Saseresi Nomeha, amongst others, among these desperate politicians who left their houses and gathered under a canopy with His Excellency Atiku Abubakar and His Excellency Ifan Yokowa's pictures on a banner behind them professing their new support for Mr. President and the River State Governor. We all recall that on this very day, they had this banner right behind them advertising the former PDP presidential candidate and his then running mate, Senator Okowa, while at the same time saying that they were now fully in support of Mr. President's office. On the other hand, they derided the 10th Assembly, who they are unhappy with for joining the All Progressive Congress, APC, which incidentally is the President's political party. Worse still, they lied against and attacked the FCT minister who worked tirelessly for the victory of the President and the Governor in River State. In other words, they are against those who defeated them and put them to shame by ensuring the victory of the President and the Governor in the state. But they now subscribe to the President and Governor. What a weak strategy from a group who think they are smart. These individuals, all through the electioneering campaigns, said a lot. But if I take our minds back to before the 2023 presidential elections, we will recall that these individuals were always with the current minister when he was governor. They followed him to everywhere, participated in the government, benefited immensely. But at a time when the party chose the current governor as the candidates to fly the flag, they ran away. Suddenly they have arrived. They now say the FCT minister didn't perform while he was governor, and they say all kinds of unprintable things against the FCT minister. But what is important is that here in the 10th Assembly, we know what the truth is, and it's important that we address the media about some of the things that we know. So in other words, they are against those who defeated them and put them to shame by ensuring the victory of the President in the state. However, the good people of River State know who they truly are. Our constituents will not forget in a hurry how they fought against the candidature of the current governor and Mr. President during the elections. We are not surprised that they are no more saying all the unprintable things against the President and the governor, because this is who they are. They now want to advise the President and use unprintable words against the former governor of River State, His Excellency Ezewan Nyesom Wike, commander of the Order of the Nigeria, Grand Service Star of Rivers State, life bencher, who God used to unite and transform Rivers State to enviable heights. Their new game plan is to blackmail Mr. President with oil production and OPEC quota. This is the end game for them. What a shame. These individuals took out time, said a lot of unprintable things against the current governor and Mr. President when they were running election. Now the threat is, for Mr. President, ignore what the governor is doing. If the governor is wrong, don't bother. Whatever is going on in Rivers State, don't bother. Because if anything happens, or the assembly continues to uphold the law, there might be violence. And when there is violence, oil production will reduce in the country. When maybe oil production reduces, the OPEC quota given to Nigeria may be affected. So they are blackmailing the Mr. President, saying, oh, if you do anything, something will happen. It's unfortunate that these characters can gather and begin to make reference to OPEC quota or oil production. It's unfortunate, quite unfortunate indeed. So they said in their statement that they now support the renewed hope agenda. And we are not against it. Certainly not. We are calling on Nigerians to support Mr. President. So we're not against anybody. See, but the issue is, can they be trusted going by their past actions? Is it not a ploy to deceive the president, gain rewards and milestones as usual, and let her fight back? Because they discredited the FCT minister because he's no more governor. Now they want something from president. They want something from the governor. They are not subscribing. I use the word subscribe because that's the word they used. They're not subscribing to the governor and the president. Probably when they get what they want, they do what they know how to do best. It's unfortunate. Time will tell, but we must keep in mind that they vowed never to serve master and little boy. These individuals say, we will serve master and serve boy. But that's what they are doing. They say they now want to serve boy. What has changed? We were inundated by the sad commentaries and speeches of their spokesperson in the media against the president, governor, and those of us who stood by the president. These new arrivals just landed like hawks. They now want to grab what they spat on, but need to be careful of their rantings and utterances against the institution of the legislature and the FCT minister, as they can derail the existing peace in the state. The FCT minister is doing fabulously well in Abuja and should be commended, rather than looking for who to advise. Rather than looking for advice from Mr. President, rather, who we believe knows them very well. Should they not be calling on the governor to learn to abide by the laws of Rivers State and the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Should these new self-acclaimed advisors also not be advising the governor to do the needful so that there can be smooth transition from the current democratically elected councils in the state to the next democratically elected councils, and avoid the challenges of attempting the opposite? What about advising the governor to heed to the peace agreements he begged for, willingly signed, and has chosen not to abide by some of the terms? The governor, he is the one that went to meet the president. He is the one that said he wanted peace. We were all called. The terms of the agreement he signed, willingly signed, we all sat down. The same governor has turned around and refused to abide by the terms of the agreement. It is worthy of note that the notice of impeachment of the governor was quickly withdrawn by members of the House in fulfillment of the terms of the agreement, and out of immense respect for the person and office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and believing that there would be a U-turn in terms of unlawful actions of the governor. The reverse is now the case, as we see from day to day the activities of the state governor being conducted outside the laws of Rivers State and the Constitution. The terms of the agreement indicated that members who brought the notice of impeachment should withdraw and that we should suspend. We did that because we have respect for Mr. President and we have respect for his, not only his person, but the office. So for us, we expected same. But what is happening? The governor has refused to do what he said he was going to do, what he signed to do. Excuses are not being given. You are all aware that day by day, Either the governor and his team members are rushing to one court or the other. They are also sponsoring their cronies using different names and different associations, going to different courts with the intention of grabbing court orders to elongate their plans against the people of Rivers State. So for us, it's important that we state some of these situations, and so that Mr. President will also know the kind of characters he has been dealing with. To this day, Rivers State remains the only state without an appropriation law, and the governor recklessly abandons laws of Rivers State. These new hawks in the scene, and all those who are quick to refer to the governor as Mr. Innocent, will not go and advise him. They prefer to hold talk shows, organize rallies, hold press conferences, and announce that the House commenced impeachment proceedings against the governor for no just cause, but fail to ask the governor if he has not been informed of the particulars of gross misconduct. They are not asking him, leveled against him, or at least read them when they were filed in court in response to his petition. The governor had gone to court to say he didn't do anything. What the impeachment, the particulars of gross misconduct by this House were filed in court. They were sent to him. But oftentimes you see them every day, they say governor didn't do anything. Members just rose, decided to impeach the governor. There was no reason, but the governor is aware of the reasons. They sent it to him. If you say he didn't also receive, did he not read the one that it was filed in court? He took us to court. We filed it in court in response to his petition. But each time they gather, their only slogan, which is what they are telling those who are moving from AGA to AGA, is to be lying against the assembly. The assembly tried to impeach the governor without an offense. Can that be possible? Can the assembly attempt an impeachment proceeding if there are no particulars of gross misconduct in line with the provisions of the 1999 Constitution as amended? These are just lies they ferment to hoodwink and mislead Rivers people and deceive Nigerians. We have chosen to keep all those issues because we have agreed to suspend. So we don't want to dwell on them. But we're only making reference to them because these new set of people that have arrived are also making reference to it, that the governor is innocent. They are the ones who have done the investigation. So they have said the governor, there was no reason for the assembly to commence anything. Sadly enough. So they must not forget that the Rivers State House was said. But let me just say that, like I said, as of today, Rivers State is the only state without an appropriation law. And the governor is reckless in what he's doing. So it's important we also state that they must not forget that the Rivers House Assembly has the mandate of the people, and that we swore an oath of allegiance to the Constitution to do the needful, including the impeachment of the governor, as a last resort. So if it becomes a last resort in accordance with the law, we will not hesitate to do so, because no individual is bigger than Rivers State, including the governor. We assure the people of Rivers State that we remain undeterred in our service to our fatherland, and no number of threats, including those of violence against us, just like they attack the Speaker's residence, will make us abandon our constitutional mandate to make laws for the good governance of our dear state. Efforts to utilize misguided individuals and attack dogs to spew lies against the House or misinform the populace with the intention of bringing the House to disrepute has only succeeded in strengthening us. It has succeeded in strengthening our resolve to represent our people even better by focusing on our job and ignoring their distractions. To this end, the positive difference in the legislation oversight, to this end, the 10th Rivers House Assembly will leave no stone unturned in our resolve to make a positive difference in legislation, oversight functions, and effective representation. Several bills that are in the interest of the state have succeeded so far, and resolutions passed with the objective of making things better. As we push to meet or surpass the yearnings and aspirations of our constituents, we are focused on our vowed goal of legislative oversight for the betterment of the good people of Rivers State. The peace, progress, and development of Rivers State remains our watchword and remains so. The 10th Rivers State House of Assembly therefore respectfully calls on Mr. President to ignore these hawks that have just landed and their failed attempt to disparage the very performing FCT minister and the Rivers State House of Assembly, in due time, their true intentions will become clearer. Nigerians should remember this. We remain very prayerful and ever supportive of the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President's government. We toiled day and night while these hawks called us names as we canvassed for votes for Mr. President, from unit to unit, ward to ward, local government area to local government area. Today we are happily joined. Today we have happily joined our Progressive Party with the intention of supporting Mr. President and further protecting the mandate that we all worked for. So no amount of blackmail will derail the result of this 10th Assembly to support Mr. President, his government, and especially the son of Rivers State, the FCT minister, who is making us proud in Abuja. We also want to call on Nigerians to give Mr. President the necessary support that he deserves. Prayers for Mr. President is quite necessary at this point in time. We are very hopeful that the programs that Mr. President has put in place for the betterment of this country would achieve the intended results. We know what Mr. President is doing for our economy, what he's doing in terms of security. We know what Mr. President is doing so that Nigerians can smile again. For us, we know we're not there yet, but the intentions of Mr. President are germane, and we believe in Mr. President. We will continue to pray for him as an assembly. We call on Nigerians to pray for him. Finally, we assure the good people of Rivers State of our commitment to stand up for them and urge them to remain prayerful against tyranny and dictatorship in the state. Because we believe that as agents of positive change, things can be better in the state if the rule of law prevails and there is mutual respect for and from all arms of government and institutions. Long live our God-given River State. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You can see that all the members are here, all 27 of us, except one who is not within town. So the rest of us are here seated, and this document is signed by all of us. We are united, we remain united, and the reason we are united is because we are working for Rivers people. Rivers people are our watchword. Rivers people are our goal. Our intention is to stand as a watchdog. We want to make sure that we do our job in line with the Constitution. It doesn't matter the amount of media attacks against us, but we will remain committed in the service of our dear state. So thank you very much. It is that impeachment is a last resort. It's not the first. When you try everything and it does appear you cannot move forward, you use impeachment as a tool. That's what I didn't write the Constitution. I wasn't there when it was written. I'm not among those who went to draft it. That word impeachment is not my village word. It has been described there. So it's not that we're joyful. It's a sad situation in the States. This is the first time we're having this kind of situation where a governor is not interested with the legislature. The governor has chosen to attack the legislature. All of you saw the governor put his hands in his pockets, went and demolished the legislature. It has never happened anywhere. The governor did it happily. Waited there and demolished it with the aim of not allowing the legislature to survive so that he can act as a dictator. They burnt it, demolished it. He's still not tired. They sent thugs to attack Mr. Speaker in his residence, even with members there. Some of you were there that day when they came to attack us. So that's the kind of governor we have. This is the first of a kind in the history of Rivers State. We have never seen it this bad. For a governor to openly attack the legislature, speak against the legislature, send his commissioner to be insulting us every day in the media. He sends all his staff, special advisors, appointees, every day they're in the media, attacking, insulting elected members, people who are our subordinates. That's the trend. The governor encourages them to do that. So we are restricted to our job. We're making laws coming up with resolutions. And our approach is a peaceful approach. I don't know what more you want us to do. We have called the media today to say, this is what the governor is doing wrong. After we withdrew the notice, we wrote to the governor. We have written to the governor and said, look, you are doing these things and they are wrong. Don't go this path. He has ignored us and he has continued with impunity, acting as one who is above the laws of Rivers State. We are drawing the attention of Nigerians, of Mr. President, the international community, to the way the governor is behaving. They burnt our Harlow chamber. They demolished it. The governor is not following laws of Rivers State. Those who say the governor is innocent all the time, we are calling on them to hear what the governor has been doing. The governor wants to set the state on fire by making sure the elections are not conducted. Even as we are here now, go to somewhere, maybe in Oyibo, where they are doing rally. They are insulting us there. Rather than do what the law says he should do. He says he's above the law. In fact, the commissioner said, I think in Nigeria Info, he told you people that the laws made by Rivers House of Assembly are not for the governor. Yeah, are you not aware? Is it not in your station he said it? He said so. But he said it in your station. But that's the kind of administration we have. An administration that has no regard for the law. That's where we are. So I don't know what else. Our approach, this press conference is one of the peaceful steps. We have never hired thugs to go and attack the governor. It is the governor who is. Thugs are coming out from government house to attack the speaker. The video is there. Video evidence is there. The evidence is there. So we're not pursuing him. Ours is follow the law so that there will be peace. He doesn't want to follow the law. You see people who are occupying positions that the law has stipulated who should occupy the position. The governor is asking them to sit there and begin to do the job that they are not empowered by law to do. Look at what is happening in the Bureau of Public Procurement. Contracts are being awarded. State funds are being spent without due regard to the public procurement law. The public procurement law says that there shall be the chairman and members of the board of the Bureau of Public Procurement, and that the governor shall appoint these individuals and send their names for the House of Assembly for screening. Governor says he's above the law, he won't appoint. They go ahead, and the Bureau is, I don't know who is there functioning. That same Bureau is supposed to, through a competitive selection process, come up with a DG for the Bureau of Public Procurement. And this is where taxpayers' money are being spent in billions. Taxes that you all pay are being spent in billions from these same people who are not approved by law to do the job. So the governor sits in government house and they are doing whatever. They are doing adverts. You are seeing all the adverts. These are the things that are supposed to be done by a fully constituted Bureau of Public Procurement. But it's not there. The governor says it's above the law. It's not. Those who are supporting him, issuing press conferences, they are not drawing his attention to what the law says. We are saying it to the Department of State Security, Nigerian Police, Mr. President, the international community, UN. They saw him demolish the assembly Harlow chamber. Nothing happened. He's on it again because nothing happened to him. Because nothing happened the other time, he's continuing. Maybe one day people will hear he has sent thugs to demolish this place and kill all of us. But we are drawing the attention of the world to what the governor is doing. All he's doing is to recruit all these attack dogs to distract Rivers people while he continues with his illegalities.
So I want to ask you, sir, is it withholding any of the House of Assembly entitlement?
We're not talking about entitlement. We are telling you that the governor is not following the law. Funds of Rivers States that are being spent, that are supposed to go through due process. The Bureau on Public Procurement Law, go and read that law, Public Procurement Law. He is not. So we have answered you. The governor should, the law did not say obey this law and disobey the other law. The law says obey. You have to obey. He took an oath of office to obey laws of Rivers State.
Thank you.
at various times, we had written to the governor. We also recall that we have made it public that the infractions on the law on the part of the governor has become a huge problem. A lot of people have called to say, what are you going to do? We won't carry arms and wait for the governor on the road. Neither are we going to carry whips to go and whip him in government house. Certainly not. Our actions will certainly be guided by the provisions of the 1999 Constitution as altered. We look at the Constitution, we look at our laws. What does the law say we should do? In the course of this press conference, we have told you that if impeachment becomes a last resort, we will go back to it.
Yes.
Those who are saying, Mr. The governor is innocent, he didn't do anything, tell us what he did. We have been telling them what the governor has been doing. They are not talking. We have been telling them. The former governor of Rivers State, before he left office, he conducted local government elections and allowed elected officials to be in government. They are there. And it is only normal. If caretaker committees were to be appointed, would the governor be in Brickhouse today? If the former governor had appointed, if he had the power to appoint caretaker and appointed caretaker, will he be in government house? He will not be there. It is because elections were conducted and he entered government house. He doesn't want elections to be conducted for local government. Why? Why not fund the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission and encourage them? Let it be known to all Nigerians that the Rivers State House of Assembly is fully in support of the conduct of local government elections, so that there will be peaceful and hitch-free transition from democratically elected council officials to another set of democratically elected council officials. That is our position. That is not the position of the governor. And he's making no efforts so that elections can be conducted. What they want is for illegal people to occupy the councils. And we are saying no, it's an aberration. Caretaker committees are indeed an aberration. There are litany of judgments in several courts, including the Supreme Court. The Constitution is clear. We cannot entrust resources of local government to people who are civil servants. Civil servants cannot sit in the office of the chairman to do the job for which they were not employed to do. We won't let that happen. The law has been amended, and that's our position. So there are other infractions by the governor, including his appointments he has been making outside the law. Several of them, I'm glad that you are aware that we have been making these things known. The point we are making is that the last time the House of Assembly came up with an impeachment notice, a lot of them said, oh, he didn't do anything. They've not told us what he did. Now we are telling them. Those who are holding press conferences, we are telling them. They are not addressing it. They are running away from the issues. All they do is attack the FCT minister. FCT minister is in Abuja, performing fabulously well. Leave him alone. Focus on the man who is refusing to follow the law. They don't want to address that part. So we have been bringing these things to the fore. To those who are bishops, the clergy, traditional rulers, we have been calling on them. Go and talk to the governor to obey the law. Obey the laws of Rivers State. That's where we are.
Okay, sir. So you the system, by virtue of what you have done.
Well, thank you for your question. Let me, first of all, correct the impression that we are merely reacting to them. No. You will notice that we've not been granting press conferences. In the next few months, the 10th Assembly will be 1 year in office. But it's important that once in a while, we speak to our people outside the confines of the Hallowed Chamber, where we have lots of formality. And we felt it's an opportunity to talk to our people and address some of the issues that have been on in the public space. So that's essentially what it is. It's not about them. This press conference is not about them or anybody. It's about letting our people know that this is how far we have gone and that we are forging ahead and that our resolve remains strong. That's essentially why we are here, so that people should not misconstrue the intention of this press conference. Now back to the people you mentioned. They certainly don't pose any threat to us. I mentioned them in the passing. I also addressed other issues outside what they said. And they are not also the only ones who have come up to lie against this assembly. So It's an opportunity to address some of these issues. We know what the Constitution says on all the issues. So they are certainly not a threat. We said in this document that we are not against them pledging support for Mr. President. We are not against it. It's there in the document. We are not. What we are saying is that these individuals cannot be trusted. They cannot be trusted. And we said, time will tell. Let's watch and see. But you will recall that they had attacked, they singled out the House of Assembly for attack, saying that we are illegal. And amongst them is a former federal lawmaker who knows what the Constitution says, who understands how the House functions. And he sat there. And one of them is also a former leader of the House of Assembly. Yeah, somehow it appears they've forgotten how to read the Constitution. So we felt we should, when things are left unattended or unaddressed, people may end up believing that they are correct. So it was important to talk to our people. We are the people representing the good people of Rivers State in the Rivers State House of Assembly. So when our people are being misinformed, it's important to let them know what the true position of things are. At various times, we had written to the governor. We also recall that we have made it public that the infractions on the law on the part of the governor has become a huge problem. A lot of people have called to say, what are you going to do? We won't carry arms and wait for the governor on the road. Neither are we going to carry whips to go and whip him in government house. Certainly not. Our actions will certainly be guided by the provisions of the 1999 Constitution as altered. We look at the Constitution, we look at our laws. What does the law say we should do? In the course of this press conference, we have told you that if impeachment becomes a last resort, we will go back to it. Wow. The latest of the new groups recruited against the 10th Assembly is the former Rivers State PDP Presidential Campaign Council. In a press conference on the 26th of March 2024, signed by Dr. Abiy Sekibo, this group inferred that the House is an illegal and not constitutional assembly. Others in this group are the likes of Right Honorable Osenopara, Senator Lee Meba, and Prince Uche Secondus. It's not that we're joyful. It's a sad situation in the States. This is the first time we're having this kind of situation where a governor is not interested with the legislature. The governor has chosen to attack the legislature. All of you saw the governor put his hands in his pockets, went and demolished the legislature. It has never happened anywhere. The governor did it happily. Waited there and demolished it with the aim of not allowing the legislature to survive so that he can act as a dictator. They burnt it, demolished it. He's still not tired. They sent thugs to attack Mr. Speaker in his residence, even with members there. Some of you were there that day when they came to attack us. So that's the kind of governor we have. This is the first of a kind in the history of Rivers State. We have never seen it this bad. For a governor to openly attack the legislature, speak against the legislature, send his commissioner to be insulting us every day in the media. He sends all his staff, special advisors, appointees, every day they're in the media, attacking, insulting elected members, people who are our subordinates. That's the trend. Governor encourages them to do that.